Hey guys, what's up? This is Gillyweed and I am joined by Inimical GG and we are here to cast the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. I think this is like week 11 or 12, I don't even know anymore. It's gotten to the point where we don't even need to count weeks anymore, I guess. But hi Inimical, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Gilly?
I am good. We've already got this draft up and running, so I'm going to switch over to that. We've got Team Quatsch versus Tasty eSports. I don't even know. But I'm
What's the
switching
number
this.
on that?
4236.
Okay.
So it looks like we're going to be on Sky Temple. This will be a best of one, guys. And we've got Tasty eSports, who's banned Lost Vikings. Team Quatsch has banned Rhaegar on Sky Temple. So Lost Vikings and Rhaegar bans. Interesting. And then Tasty eSports so far has Jaina, ETC, and Brightwing. And Quatsch has Sylvanas and Uther.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these teams decide to round out their comms with, because right now the only really strong hero on this map, well, I guess Tasty has Brightwing and ETC, both are amazing heroes on this map, and we see Diablo Tyrande picked up, pretty standard combo there, a great synergy. We see it all over the place in NA and EU.
Yep, the Diablo, Tyrande, Uther. Of course, a lot of people really like those. Uther added to that as well because you've got multiple ways to stun someone off of Diablo's overpower. And then on the other side, though, Tasty eSports, like you said, is ETC and Brightwing, both with global presence. That's going to be really nice. Well, if ETC does take that stage dive, of course, as his heroic ability. But then we also have Vala and Jaina, and those are two heroes that do a lot of damage, and rounding out their composition with Tassadar.
Yeah, and that's actually a nice pickup for Tasty with Tassadar, because they're going to have the healing ward, which is really just going to help Brightwing with her heals. So she can kind of focus on keeping Jaina and Vala alive, whereas like ETC can kind of just stand in the healing ward and take up those heals.
Yeah, and Falstad actually coming out for Team Quatch. That's something we don't see super often, but that's really cool because like Brightwing and ETC, he's got the global map presence with his flight, and he can, of course, deal a lot of damage with his abilities as well as with the Hinterland Blast heroic ability. Occasionally we see the Mighty Gust, but it's far more often that we have Hinterland Blast. That's probably what they'll go for here, just making sure that they have enough damage to be able to deal. But, you know, Sylvanas does a lot of work on this map, as with any map where your buildings are your health versus these map elements. Maybe we could go over exactly how this map works.
Yeah, Sylvanas, we actually talked about this in Storm League this morning. Sylvanas is just really good on every map. Like, her ability to just kind of stop the turrets and structures from firing is just really amazing. She's really good on mines, or on like Haunted Mines. But sorry guys, I'm actually trying to get a stream up for us that's not on Twitch, so you guys can actually see the games. That's why I'm a little distracted at the moment. Alright, I'm going to start this up on Afrika, and if it goes bad, I'm going to immediately stop it. So if you lose me on Skype, that's what's happening.
I'm just trying to get the team names set up now. These guys did stuff a little bit backward from what I'm used to. Okay. I think that with that I'm ready. Are you ready to go with this game?
Yeah, I actually started the stream. It looks like we're not having any kind of issue here.
Okay.
I posted the link in HeroesHype admin chat, and I just tweeted it out. So we're good to go. There's going to be a stream.
Well, yeah, this is mainly for recording at this point. So it'll be after the fact. Oh, I'm still showing all of my things. Whoops.
Oh my god, I can't stream this. Never mind, I don't have delay. I gotta stop this.
Well, let's just go ahead and start this. We're ready to go. He says Twitch is working for them anyway. So hopefully it'll be up soon.
Alright. So never mind.
Alright. Yay, it's working here. That's good. Hooray. Hello, guys. Once again, I'm Gillyweed, and I'm joined by Inimical GG. We're going to be streaming you some HeroesHype Amateur Series. Our first game is Tasty eSports versus Team Quatsch. They gave me 3 different ways to pronounce it, so I'm just going to take one of those that they gave me and use that one. Because, you know...
It's like squash without an S, really.
Well, some said crotch, some said quatch, some said quash. So
I like quash.
I think quash is what I will be going with. The T is silent in my brain. All right, so Sky Temple, guys, we're going to be on this map for this best of 1, which means that whatever team wins here will go on. Sky Temple, of course, has 3 temples. When you stand on it, they will activate, but it will also mean that little minions will come out and try to attack you to push you off there. Someone else who will try to push you off the temples is, of course, the enemy team, and that's because as you stand on a temple, they will shoot lasers at your enemy structures, which is what we were talking about a little bit with Sylvanas being really good on any map where your structures come under fire, under siege from these map mechanics directly like this. Kind of like, you know, Blackheart's Bay, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and actually having her with the boss and the double siege bot is really strong on this map as well.
Very, very true. So let's go ahead and introduce these teams. I'll introduce Tasty eSports in the blue. We've got Carbo Knight on Jaina, Yell Cow on the Cow. That works well. Drashu on Brightwing, OP Mage playing Vala, and Triggers playing Tassadar.
And on Quatsch Gaming, we've got Insane on Sylvanas, Calubris on Diablo, Brosidon on Falstad, Quatsch on Uther, and Zoom, I'm just going to call him Zoom rather than V-Zoom, on Tyrande.
Sounds like a good call to make. So it's funny, actually, we see all of Quatsch coming up to the Vision Tower, but for some reason, Tasty eSports just choosing to hang around that boss that hasn't spawned yet. And both teams are going to just set up in lanes. Usually we see 1 hero each for the teams in the bot as we set up for the first laning phase. That's because the first temple phase is for the top and the mid temples. And so you don't want to have too many people out of position for when those start, but of course you got to have somebody laning too in the bot.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure I like the way that Tasty has split here with Tassadar bottom. Since they have Brightwing, I like starting Brightwing on the bottom of this map since she can just phase shift up, which is why we have Quatsch there with Falstad bot. It makes perfect sense. I have a Falstad Brightwing 1v1 in the bot lane, as both heroes have that global presence and can immediately rotate to whichever temple they need to.
Yeah, if you notice that here with Diablo and Tyrande, they're really trying to go for an overpower straight into a Lunar Flare, just like we saw there now. The overpower wasn't straight into the Lunar Flare. There was a little bit of a miss, so Vala will be able to get away. But we'll have to see. We've got the first temple spawning. We're going to see which ones each team chooses to go for. Right now, it looks like both are fighting over this mid one. Remember that this mid temple gives you a little bit extra experience if you can capture all of it. But we're going to have a fight here, so it looks like that may not be the case.
Yeah, actually, Sylvanas taking a lot of damage. She's definitely going to get away there. Tassadar also doing a lot of work. Diablo's going to go down.
Diablo is the first to go down. ETC will follow, though. Both teams taking a lot of damage. Vala quite out of position there is going to vault away. They do take out Sylvanas and Uther now, but Brosidon and Zoom are pretty high up there in terms of health, and OP Mage has to watch out for that hammer. So, although for now the fight did go in favor of Tasty eSports, remember that there is a very short respawn timer, and as you see, Diablo is already back here to try to help deal damage, and they will have to be careful not to get overextended as the rest of the members come back in for more of a fight.
Yeah, most of the minions have not been cleared up, but Tasty has managed to secure a lot of the power on this temple, but there's a huge engagement going down already. I can't even believe this. It's so early on in the match and these teams are just fighting over this. Normally you see a team give up that mid temple and just go right to top if that's the case, but both teams being really aggressive here. It actually looks like Quatsch is going to be on the receiving end of this team fight and going to lose out on the rest of this temple.
Yeah, they lost a lot of heroes there with a good push in with Tasty Esports, and something to remember there is that Tasty was level 4 for all of that fight, whereas when it started, Quatsch was still at level 3, so they did not have a talent tier, at least they had a little bit of a talent tier disadvantage there at the beginning. Now we've got another fight happening for that top one with ETC getting very low, going to be overpowered, and now the body blocks are real from Diablo, but he's barely, doesn't quite make it away. Falstad was able to barrel roll in and get the last kill on him, but he's getting pretty low himself, and Tassadar is on the chase, so he's going to be really careful here. Really use a heal from that Tyrande. They will be able to save him just in time, and now Diablo is coming in trying to overpower.
Oh wow, that Blizzard was so good.
Clutch Blizzard from Jaina takes out Sylvanas and Falstad, and one Blizzard doesn't even have the Blizzard increased radius level 4 talent, just making a super good positioning there.
You know, she actually took out 2 birds with 1 stone there. If you see what I did there. I'm sorry, that was so bad. I couldn't resist. There's only 1 bird, really, but still.
Alright, well, Tasty is showing you some great play here, unlike the puns coming from Inimical. This is some good stuff that you want to see. Not just sitting on the temple with everybody. Instead, they're choosing to push lanes and gather experience, and that's what you want to do to remember to continue to keep your lead. You've already got the temple. Go ahead and push lanes and secure more experience so that you're not losing out in the experience whereby sitting on the temples.
Yeah, I'm actually really worried because that temple just ended, so the next temple is going to be up, I think, around like 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So that's more than enough time for Tasty to secure level 10 here. Probably way before Quatsch gets to level 9. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens when this bottom temple does finally spawn.
Oh no, Tyrande getting caught out of position there up top. Jaina was waiting for her, and Brightwing came in to help secure that kill as well. But meanwhile, on bottom, we are starting to see a bit of a push here from Quatsch. They've got those siege giants throwing rocks onto the turrets. Sylvanas was keeping them from being able to attack and dealing damage back, but she had to step back a bit because she knows that they've just received their level 7 talents, and they really need to be conservative here because they don't want to give level 10 to their opponents, and they also really need to get up to level 10 and continue soaking before that next temple phase.
It's actually interesting. Vala's taking Hot Pursuit here. It's kind of just a very interesting talent. I haven't really been paying attention to the NA and EU scenes as of late, since I've been doing a lot of stuff with Storm League, but generally we're seeing a lot of Hungering Arrow builds come out now on that side of the meta. So it's just interesting to see the Hatred stacks coming into play here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's regular or not.
I think a lot of people are struggling with, since Battle Momentum was removed from that tier, struggling to figure out what the best one is. A lot of people still like Searing Attacks, especially with the multi-shot build, but it's kind of what everyone prefers. Now they are at level 10, Tasty Esports. They're delicious, not upset. Tasty Esports got their heroic abilities, and this is going to be great for them as Quatsch is going to have a really tough time trying to engage into this temple, which is the bottom one. And look at this bottom temple. If you haven't played this game before, you will notice it is very difficult to try to get into and out of really just these top bushes as a way to engage into it. So this one is really a death trap.
Yeah, and actually, Tasty doing some really smart play there. Rather than just grabbing the temple immediately when it spawned, they managed to take both of those turrets and the gate down, so all of the fire from the spot temple would be concentrated on that fort, giving them, like, securing them even more XP and even more of an XP lead for their team. So really, Quatsch needs to really do some work here. They're going to get level 10, but they really need to kind of take a fight before this game gets really out of control.
And here come Tasty. They're trying to move in here to engage upon this. Now, everyone does have their heroic abilities out, but they've already dealt so much damage to Diablo, who will be the first to fall here in this team fight. Now, Falstad has flown in, but ETC has stage dove in. They've slowed down the Tyrande. They're dealing a ton of damage to her with that water elemental, and there they will. They will pick her up.
Oh god, I'm so
I don't know
sorry.
what those sounds are.
That's
But
me.
Tyrande, Diablo, and Uther have gone down, and now Falstad and Sylvanas are all that remain. They're doing a ton of damage to these turrets now, and they even picked up the end of that temple besides. So now once again they're ahead of talent tier. Let's take this time really fast to go over the heroics that each team has. We've got Strafe, Archon, Blink Heal, Water Elemental, and Stage Dive for Tasty Esports, and Wailing Arrow, Lightning Breath, Pendulum Blast, Divine Shield, and Starfall for Quatsch. Y'all good there? Are you gone? I think he's gone.
I'm here, give me a second.
Okay. We saw Diablo try to go in there and stop them from stealing their Siege Giants, but wasn't quite able to do so even with the power that is Lightning Breath, which is quite a bunch. That thing does a lot of damage. But the rest of the team is kind of separated. Heroics were down as well, which doesn't help. Important factor that a lot of people don't realize when going into engaging fights is making sure that all of your heroics are up to. So that's always something to make sure that you guys are doing as you're playing. And remember guys, this is an amateur series here. So the idea, of course, is that these teams can go into a tournament setting and experience what that's like without the pressure of a full-on tournament. And then, of course, because a lot of the major tournaments are, of course, you've got to qualify in. This enables everyone to be able to play in a safe setting where they can get a lot of input and experience.
And speaking of pressure, by the way, I'm back. Speaking of pressure, we see the pressure coming in from Tasty Esports going right for that Bruiser camp and stealing it away, and meanwhile doing a ton of damage to Uther, who's going to have to cast his Divine Shield just to save himself.
No, but
and Diablo's not going to survive.
For Tasty, thankfully they had several levels up though, because that positioning could have been dicey. Jaina was caught kind of in the Starfall, but they made it work.
Yeah, Tasty just kind of running away with this one. Early on in the game, it was 7-1 in kills, and kills don't really matter that much, but when you get that many that early, it's going to matter. You're going to get a huge experience lead, and basically, we just saw them get the lead and keep it, and even now they're backing, they're going to play it safe, get away, try and secure another temple, maybe some more merc camps, just see what they want to do here, but they're playing it safe, conservative. They don't want to give away their lead because it's a huge lead. They should just be able to secure a win here.
Yeah, they're going to go for both temples, which you can definitely do when you're this far ahead. You can split up, and then whichever one the other team goes for, which in this case is going to be bot temple, you just disengage from that as quickly as possible, which is what we're going to see Vala and Tassadar do. Right Wing has come in here. It's possible that with Jaina here, there we go. We're going to see the stage dive. They're going to leave that top temple, come in. They want both temples, and they will take out Sylvanas and Uther very quickly. That strafe was so good, and Vala is right up in front, taking out Falstad and Tyrande as well. Oh, they will let her escape, but Diablo's not going to be quite so lucky. They're going to get a 4-for-0 trade, and now they're just going to say, well, I guess, well, you know, go back to these temples now. Kind of thing. Oh, actually
no. This is even more brilliant on their part. They're going to grab this boss, and this boss is going to force some members of Quatsch to deal with it, so they're going to have a weaker temple defense. However, Tyrande being very smart here, kind of taking a risk at the same time, taking that temple by herself, as most of the members for Quatsch are going to be rotating up. But actually, she's going to leave that temple if she can't tank, but Falstad will fly in as well. Yeah. To keep that for Quatsch, because they desperately need it. Like, the temple is really how they're going to get some XP fast, and they really need to catch up in levels here before it's just GG.
Those minions deal a lot more damage than sometimes a lot of people realize, and yet Tyrande was not able to deal with it. Their team will end up picking up the top one, so Quatsch did deal a little bit of damage, but as you can see, all of the forts are still up for Tasty, and there is a boss barreling down on this fort that Quatsch is going to have to deal with. And that just gives space for Tasty to continue to turn the map blue, press their advantage, pick up all the merc camps, and that's what they're doing. They have their level 16 talents. Quatsch has only picked up their 13, so they've got quite a lead here.
Yeah, and this is something we see on Dragonshire in this map quite a bit. is the 4 siege giant push. You can on both maps you can get the siege giants at the same time, which is what we're seeing here. But Sylvanas is going to slow them down a little bit, and the Starfall is going to do some work. So they're going to Quatsch is going to kind of mount a good defense against this, but it still might not be enough because of this level lead.
And Diablo will go down. Here comes a Wailing Arrow. It only really hits Tassadar and Jaina, so not too many were hit with that. They will take out Uther as well, and Sylvanas has been envenomed, is going to be the next one on the chopping block here. And they're going to go for core here, going ham on core, which is apparently the new saying. They don't really have anybody to stop them. There's 3 people up for Quatsch, but as long as they play it safe, they shouldn't really have too much of a problem, although they just took a lot of damage from that Hinterland Blast. Uh-oh, there's the Lightning Breath. They're going to have to disengage here.
Yeah, smartly just kind of getting away before they take too much damage. Having ETC down for about 40 seconds is not optimal for them, but because they do have a large lead, they're probably going to get ETC back up well before Quatsch manages to hit level 16 and kind of bring themselves back into this game. But they do have a lot of work to do.
Thankfully for Quatsch, those shields on the core will start regenerating. It's funny, everybody was so healthy, and then, you know, threw a lot of damage out on that Hinterland Blast. So both teams just going to pick up their bruiser camps here. We do have the next temple phase activating in just a couple of seconds. It will be top and mid, and it looks like for now both teams are going to be coming in to try to contest at this mid one. This is going to be kind of a strange place to fight. There's a little bit of a choke here that enables like Blizzard to do a lot of damage there, and Strafe's coming in. That's going to make Vala a little bit separated from the group, but Brightwing is going to be able to blink them in. And there is ETC, the stage dive finally coming in, and they're going to once again be on the retreat here from Tasty, who is throwing in a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Lightning Breath going down is just fortunately not going to do enough work. It really needed to do a lot more damage than it did there, but Diablo is kind of caught out of position there, trapped up against the wall, like playing Street Fighter in the corner, basically, just getting trapped in the corner, not being able to do anything. So Tasty's going to get the gank on him and Sylvanas, and they're going to move to this top temple and go ahead and secure both temples at once here and get both keeps down. So looking at 3 catapults going to be coming up here for Tasty eSports.
That top keep was so low, I'm surprised they didn't throw a couple of shots on it to just take it out, save the shots, but maybe they were concerned to do so. Vala's got to get out of here, though, because there are a bunch of heroes here trying to come after her. She will get hit by the Hinterland Blast, but it won't quite be enough, and she's going to be going back in a hurry. It's very smart. All right, all the keeps are down. This should not be enough to... Yeah, it will not be enough to hit the core, but it will take down the shields on Quatsch's core once again. Oh, did it end up... Actually, it ended up hitting the structures on Tasty. They were able to secure some of the shots once again, so that's good. At least they didn't really get much more damage, although the core is down to 50%.
Yeah, things are not looking good. They haven't really looked good for a long time for Quatsch, but this is a map where things can kind of get out of control really fast. And we saw that here with the early ganks, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And with 3 catapults coming and this engagement happening right now, it's just not looking good for Quatsch at the moment.
They did take out ETC, but everyone else is still very high, and they've taken out Sylvanas and Diablo. And oh my gosh, that was so much damage on poor Uther. Falstad's the only one left here for about 40-some seconds, except for Uther's Ghost, which is not going to be a ton of help. And now with level 20 talents, they're back once more, dealing a ton of damage to this core, and this will be game. And the first game of the evening will go to Tasty eSports.
Yeah, just GG for those guys. Playing a really great match. You know, not really making a ton of mistakes, playing it safe the whole way, and just running with their advantage.
Yep, that's definitely the case. I really wanted to take a look at their damage. Yeah, they had quite a bit of damage there. And Falstad quite a bit too, but just not quite enough. Of course, it always stinks to play as Falstad and then die, you know, any amount of times once you've picked up that gathering power, because those stacks, your lifeline, man, like with Zeratul or Nova as well. It's always tricky to play for sure. Your camera has been frozen for like ever. I'm going to switch
Really?
back to Cam's, but sorry guys, he's just kind of...
Maybe no. I am just frozen there. Hold on a second. How's this? Bam! Look at that. I'm moving. I'm moving now. Sweet. I love the movement. It's great.
Well, cool. Our next match is going to be, I believe, the Dinner Excuse versus Great White North. So we are going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll have that as well. It will be the last best of one for the evening, and then we will start in with our best of threes in the semifinals. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back for you very soon.